What happened to MGTOW? Do you remember MGTOW? It was a movement that it actually... Now, one of the silly things is that a lot of people believe black men created MGTOW. Those would be people who primarily communicate their resentments or whatever to black men online. You know, a lot of times when things are associated or tied to certain people, it really shows who it is that you're looking at online. But what is MGTOW? MGTOW, I think, was given its official name actually in 1998 or 97, 98. What wound up happening is that around about 2008, Barbarossa, a very well-spoken Dominican, you know, he became, in my view, probably the most memorable guy in MGTOW. But he left the internet in 2016. I don't really think he's been around too much. Haven't heard nothing from him really in about the last 4 or 5 years. But there was something that he infamously would say a whole lot. He would say that 88% of the guys claiming MGTOW they're only a blowjob away from going right back into the gynocracy. And to tell you the truth, he wasn't lying. And that's what's happened to MGTOW. What happened was several things. And I'm going to be talking about in this video how to fix MGTOW and what went wrong. And I'm going to give you the almost near perfect solution for MGTOW. Because the thing that I used to say to guys is that, okay, that little acronym means men going their own way. Okay, where you going to go to? Where you headed to? And don't get me wrong, I know what that means allegorically, but what are you going to do outside of women? Or the pursuit of women, or improving the self to get with women. You get what I'm saying? And some guys would talk about going their own way only in the aspect of, well, I want to go to college or take a financial class or a skills trade class so that I can get women. And I'm thinking, well, ultimately, you're just doing an everyday American thing. I don't really look at that as going your own way, you know? Sorry to break it to you, but it just doesn't sound like to me you're going your own way. That's just typical Americanism. But what ended up happening to MGTOW, real short, and I'm going to break this down real quick, is that guys proposed about 3 or 4 solutions. Some men proposed going to other countries and getting with women. Some men proposed dating women of other races. Some men said, fuck it, I'm a lifelong monk. To hell with it. But I'm going to tell you what happened. Everything did happen. But there's a fourth thing that happened, in that MGTOW, partially, about half of it, among black men, became woman-led. It really did. It literally became woman-led. Other elements of MGTOW actually did passport up. There's J-Rod. There's a brother by the name of Check in Effect, CZECH in Effect. That's my big brother, Check in Effect, man. I love that brother. He's in Colombia right now. He lives 95% of his life outside of the United States. I be wondering, how do you do it, bro? Give us the secrets. And there's a guy named J-Rod. There's several brothers. You know, a guy, his name is Living My Best Dream, Fresh Out the Matrix, Dominican Republic, you know. So many dudes are all over the place. And I done ran into a lot of channels. I done ran into dudes that I really didn't know were in the MGTOW movement who are completely living in Brazil. So a lot of guys are not about sitting up on the internet running their mouth all the time. They really are about getting out there and living that life. Many guys went ahead and went into the interracial scene. Now, I'm going to say this. SYSBM is not really an interracial dating scene. SYSBM, to some degree or another, it is, but in my opinion, when something stays focused on the original resentment, kind of like divestors, when something stays focused on the original resentment, you're not really moving forward. Like, if you always have to use anger and resentment toward a black woman as the primary basis at which you're projecting whatever ideology, you're not really moving forward. You low-key are still just addicted to black females, and you want to sit around and listen to a guy talk about them all day. That's why FBM was basically an interracial dating movement that focused on black dudes getting with white females. Now, this is going to cause a rift and a split, especially with the black dudes going to Latin America, because MGTOW had some of everybody. And what the white man is going to say is, well, dude, like, I'm leaving my woman behind, and you're looking at her as redemption. You know, and there's actually a lot of white dudes that did the same thing. It's kind of like if you imagine a white man walking in one direction and a black man going the other direction. I'm headed toward your woman and you headed toward mine. Well, good luck with that, buddy. But infamously, a Latino guy by the name of Kim123 came out, and he started bitching and whining every which direction about black men in Latin America banging up all the little prostitutes on the beach for $25, you know. But I'm going to tell you the problem with it, okay? With MGTOW, and I mean the guys who didn't go their own way, and the guys that didn't develop something for themselves outside of just sitting online talking about women all the time, right? The reason as to why I blame Western Christianity for many of men's problems, and that's whether you black, white, or whatever, is Western Christianity. Most of us are Christians. There's a percentage of Muslims, Jews, and some of everybody else in the country, but most of us are Christian. Even if we don't go to church, we have a Christian foundation. And the Bible begins with man, you know, God, man, and then woman. You go a little bit further in the Bible, and Jacob, the deceiver, ends up getting deceived himself. And not only did Jacob get deceived, but anybody reading that story got deceived. Because it says that he went to a man, and that man said, work 7 years for my average looking daughter. And then after 7 years, Jacob wanted Rachel, who is the prettier daughter. So the man told him work 7 more years. Okay, so 14 years of hard back-breaking labor. Imagine being 21 years old. You're not old enough to drink. You meet a woman or you meet a girl and her father tells you, be my slave until you're 35 and you can have my daughter. Jesus Christ. Like, really? Like, she's going to be at the wall. Like, how old is she? Are you 21 attracted to a 12-year-old? Is she going to be 27 and I'm 36? Because if we're the same age, I mean, I guess it's different if she's still a virgin, if you're preserving her like that, but still, I mean, age is just going to start to catch up whether you're a virgin or not. And many people would argue that a woman that is not having any sex, you know, she'll start to look a certain type of way. She'll start to look stiff. But overall, it gives you the impression that a woman's beauty is worth more of your effort. And later on in the Bible, it says, for the love of a woman, a man will leave his mother and family, his mother, father, and family to be with that woman. These are things that in my view, and in my opinion, they so completely set the mind of a Western man to so utterly and completely just value and overvalue women. And it literally places a woman as the foundation of your life. I mean, it really does. Like, see, a woman, I mean, I don't mean to sound like a male feminist, but a woman doesn't grow on a tree like a fruit. You know, it's kind of like one comedian joked about his dick size. He was a black dude with a little dick, right? And he said that when he pulled his dick out, women always make fun of him. And he wondered why, as if he had a choice. It's not like they were selling big dicks for $5.99 at the store, and I had $20 and just chose to be cheap and purchased my little $1, 3-inch. It's not a choice. And the point I'm making is that women don't grow on trees, okay? You're not, and like I say, I don't want to sound like a feminist, a male feminist, but you're not entitled to a woman. And I don't want to get too deep and metaphysical, but it's not that I believe in evolution completely, but I guess you could say I believe in partial evolution. I mean, you can literally see it in society every day. The men that built this country and who fought against the British, they were alphas. Modern day American men are betas. This is how the country's been taken over. Nope. Everybody got a bunch of guns, but ain't nobody gonna do shit. Nothing. Just sitting up looking at a whole constitution. You know, a bunch of dictators like Joe Biden just rubbing their ass with the Constitution. But, you know, that's my point, is that there is a certain form of evolution. You get what I'm saying? And women are just evolved to like the alpha or the achiever. Hey, not everybody's going to be that. You know, not every dude is going to have a jawline. And I'm not saying that you have to be a absolutely drop dead handsome alpha male. There's plenty of ugly dudes who are just very assertive that get all type of women. But for the most part, there's going to have to be something there that sticks out to the woman. And if nothing sticks out to her, you got to get a lot of money, which essentially just makes your life a life of prostitution, if you ask me. Because when a woman sees what she sees as attractive, what's attractive is just attractive. Doesn't matter if you got money or not. I'm going to keep it real with you. If a bitch want to give you some pussy, she's going to give you some pussy. And she's going to give it to you quick. There's not going to be a lot of conversation y'all have to have. There's not going to be a bunch of going out and spending money. She sees what she wants, and trust me, if you've never been desired by a woman deeply, then you just don't know what I'm talking about. But a woman is just going to give you some ass if she wants you. But my overall point is that a woman is not an entitlement. You've got to do things, and there are things based upon the world we live in, whether you believe in evolution, science, or whatever, that makes women prefer certain dudes. It's just a plain and simple reality. And this is what MGTOW largely is. It's a bunch of non-select dudes bitching and complaining about Pookie and Ray Ray and Chad and Thad, you know, or Theodore, I don't know, or Ulysses, whoever the sexy, or better yet, Adonis, you know, the Greek, Roman-looking white dude with the olive skin and the nice hair and the hazel eyes and the, you know, hellified chest and arms, looking like Thor, you know, the slightly tan version of Thor, you know. Hey, let's just be real. That's what MGTOW really was. Let's be honest. But I'm going to tell you what I ran into. About a couple years ago, I ran into a mysterious channel talking about machine elves. I know a lot of y'all are like, what the hell? Are you about to fly off into Crazyville? Say that again. Machine elves. You know, machine elves. Basically, to make a long story short, 434 is the name of the channel. 434. And he's an Indian guy who does psychedelics, magic mushrooms, and other psychedelics. Now, I'm not here to get you hooked on psychedelics. Honestly, you can't get hooked on them. They're not addictive like that. Many people, quite frankly, are too scared to even do them or try them. And they're not addictive at all. As a matter of fact, I've actually found marijuana to be more addictive than psychedelics. But in the process of running into these psychedelics, I also ran into books and audiobooks associated with psychedelics. And to make a long story short, there's two historical figures named Don Juan. One of them is very well known. The other one is not that well known. Don Juan, the Puerto Rican suave lover, is the guy that most people know. But the other Don Juan is a Mexican shaman. And there's a man named Carlos Castaneda. Remember these names. Who went to Mexico in he's a botanist. That means somebody with a degree in flowers and herbs, and he likes foraging and eating natural herbs and vegetables, etc. He went to Mexico to get the best psychedelics, because at the time most of the psychedelics were in Mexico and South America, Costa Rica, etc. All over the place, really. Nicaragua, just all over these countries. And he went down to just purchase the psychedelics and come back to America, And what was supposed to be a trip that lasted only a week or so while he acquired some psychedelics wound up turning into about 4 different books, and it ended up being a decade-long affair. Not romantic affair, but friendship that he developed with the man that he got the psychedelics from, who was the shaman Don Juan. Don Juan was a shaman or a magic man, you know, and he didn't just believe in giving people these things. These things are not to just be given to you for you to go get high with. There's a long lesson that you got to kind of learn before you use this. And what came out of it was 3 books, about 3 or 4 books. I've read 3 of them and several of the smaller pamphlets. The first one would be Journey to Extialon. I'll try to spell that maybe in the comments. The other one was Tales of Power. And the other one was Petty Tyrants. Carlos Castaneda had an issue, internal issue stemming from a difficult relationship with his dad. And Don Juan was able to dig it out of him. And not just that, but he also made him reflect upon his life and how he saw the world. And one of the many conclusions that he came to is that even though I live in the Western world with you, our philosophy actually comes from the East. And in a nutshell, you Western men are fucked up. You're fucked up. And everything about your religion, your culture, and your society is fucked up. Number one, in Tolcec philosophy, God didn't create man and woman. The 2 people that are created are actually 2 men. And women are just mentioned as being in the story. Like both guys had they called the hero twins. And both guys had a grandmother. Hey, she's just there. The grandmother that's there is kind of like the woman in the Bible in the land of Nod. Where the hell she come from? It's not explained. She's just there. God didn't create her. He created you, 2 dudes, okay? And y'all are heroes with a mission. That right there eliminates, you know, the importance of women. And it makes women just, you know, you're just someone that came along with me. You know, you're not divinely created along with me. Hell, woman, I'm the divine creation. And furthermore, there's nothing that teaches any of these guys. They are on a mission. There are no love stories about these 2 hero twins. They are men who are strictly on a mission. Boys who are on a mission. That's what their life is to discover purpose and complete their mission. Women are not even in the top 5 priorities of a damn man in Toltec culture. So nobody is teaching you to sit up there and work your ass off for a woman. Nobody is sitting up there teaching you that, oh, this woman is so glorious, she's going to be bigger than your mama one day. And nobody is teaching you that the purpose of life is that you got to go out there and somehow beat evolution and make a woman like you so that you can reproduce. And what Don Juan said is that which you lust for and the things implanted in your head are the root cause of your suffering. Because the more that you want these things that are not really necessary, the more you suffer. And the more you resist many things, the greater you make it. War on drugs, you now have more drugs than anything. War on terrorism, now there's terrorism all over the world. You declare a war of resistance against a lot of things, attempting to control the population in Africa because people believe Africans are cockroach monkeys. Look, now the population, and I seen this the other day, is well over 1 billion. Africa is now up there with India and China. And you've had countries for the last 70 years trying to do everything from creating HIV to sitting up there giving women the Depo-Provera vaccine, which melted their vaginas out, to abortion clinics everywhere. They've done everything. And now you have, by some estimates, between 1.1 and 1.3 or 1.4 billion people. The more you resist something, the greater you make it. As a matter of fact, that's literally how you build muscle. You're lifting weights. What are you doing? You're just going against the resistance of the weights. And what's happening to your little scrawny arms? They're getting bigger and bigger the more you resist the weight falling down. You push the weight up, away from the point it's trying to reach. You're resisting it, and you're getting bigger. You get what I'm saying? That's how it works. And this is why, and often the things that if you're just on a mission in life, the things that you're not even trying to get just tend to come. I've noticed in my own life, I've gotten a lot of stuff without even trying to get it. And that's why, you see the Mexican marriage rate, it's at 70-80%, because the setting in the mind of the woman is that I'm not anybody that he's trying to go out of his way to reproduce with, because he believes that he has to have a son or daughter, and that he has to continue his legacy. He doesn't believe that I'm more important than his mother. He's not going to value me to the point that, hey, well, I'm pretty, so you need to go get you a degree and go out of your way. That's something that you always hear a lot of black men talk about when it comes to a lot of Mexican women in Los Angeles and Southern Cal. You'll always hear a black man who got his stuff together and moved to California, right? He'll complain about something. He'll be trying to get a Mexican woman. And he'll be like, he done met a lot of them and they friendly. He may have even slept with quite a few. But it ends up being that she has this undying loyalty to, and I've literally heard this from guys from San Francisco all the way down to the most southern parts of Cali, damn near in Tijuana, which is in Mexico. She's got this undying loyalty to that Mexican with that dirty shirt and that car that has the smoke coming up out the engine. You see, materialism and shallowism wasn't even allowed to develop. So they don't have some culture where a man has to sit up there and impoverish himself and subject himself to a $300, $400, $500 a month payment for a goddamn wedding ring. A $10,000 wedding ring. Get the hell out of here. Do you realize how many things in your religion and your culture have got you fucked up? See, people don't realize that when you come across other cultures and whatnot, man, these people's brains, like, their minds are completely different. They don't even look at the world the way you do. They have a completely different look. And this is the source origin of MGTOW suffering. I wish I had a bigger platform. I wish that the very first channel that I came on YouTube with, which in the early days of YouTube, I got up to a couple thousand subs. If that channel hadn't have died, man, I'd have now between 8. There's no telling how many subs I have, man. I'd probably be in the 15 to 20,000 range at a minimum, no less than 8,000. And my voice would be a lot bigger, and men could be more effective, but it's not happening. The worst of the worst is happening. You got black men who are so pathetic, and I can't blame any other race of men for looking at us like what the fuck is the matter with you dudes, man? It's like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna have to call an alien spaceship to come just lift all you dudes off the planet? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, there's literally women who they sit around on the internet and talk about black men should be aborted. Black men are trash. And I'm talking about these women are black. Now, if another woman from another race says that, well, hell, I can understand it. Most of them don't like you anyway. But this type of crap comes from your own woman. Like, for real. This comes from your own woman. And then some of these females, as a matter of fact, a lot of them, I documented women on Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, who talk ridiculous shit. And I've even shown dudes this. Like with the female you've heard me talk about a couple times, Bossy Empress, this chick talks about how black men should be aborted. And she's got 2 black daughters. And then turns around and she's a sex worker to black men. I mean, like, you can't make this stuff up. And There was this one guy that was talking about, well, we love hoes. We love hoes. I don't know why you guys are complaining about OnlyFans, because don't we love hoes? And I'm thinking to myself, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. How the living hell did we go from Snoop Dogg saying we flip-flop and we flip-flop and serve hoes like flapjacks, but we don't love them hoes, and it's like that. How the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, how in the hell, man? But anyways, I'm gonna just go ahead and shut this video down. Carlos Castaneda, Don Juan, Petty Tyrants, Tales of Power, Journey to Expialon, and also look up the Mayan creation story. I'll try to link some of this stuff in the comments. I'm out.